Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the Spy Shack podcast, where a group of friends who are super fans of Survivor get together and talk the latest episode of Survivor's Millennials versus Gen X. My name is Saul, and with me, as like always, is Mark. Mark, how are you doing today?
I am great.
Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
And of course, Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Without getting into too many details, uh, general thoughts about the episode.
It was okay. It wasn't anything special. I mean, it was uh, just going through the season, just going about I don't know what, just going through the motions, sort of an episode. But some things did happen. Some things important. Some things that might be good or good to remember further on down the line or into the game. And then there were those moments where I found myself cringing. I'm sure some of you already know what I'm talking about, but we'll get to that. That's not until the end. But overall, I mean, last week was pretty good compared to last week. Yeah, last week was better, but again, it was okay.
Yeah, I think every season has one or two episodes that are not as great as the other ones. Kim, what'd you think of the episode?
I guess the same as Aaron and yourself. It was okay. Not much happened. So that's about it. It was okay. I mean, got better at tribal, but that's about it.
Mark?
Um, we kind of saw this coming from last week, so
Yeah, well, we'll get to what the promos said about this episode, and we'll in a little bit here. So let's start off with the right off the bat. Coming in from Tribal Council, what you all think of Hannah's apology kind of thing she's trying to do there with Zeke?
uh,
She should have just listened to him, and it didn't have to be this back and forth and back and forth, back and forth and back and forth. And I think she should have just, you know what? They came back. It's been a long night. I don't know what time. I don't know how to keep track of time there, but they're probably at tribal council for. I think they're there much longer than we see.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think they've said that they've been there sometimes for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's been a long night. Let's just call it a day and, sleep.
Hannah should have waited to really do anything. And if I was Zeke, the trust is gone. And like I said last time, Hannah wanted to be part of the cool kids. She was the misfit, she was the outsider, and that's what she should have stuck with. And I don't know if even if she didn't flip the vote, anything would have changed, but she showed that she wasn't trustworthy, and that doesn't change. So I don't think that they're going to remain that loyal to her. I don't think they'll vote her out next, but I think the trust is gone. And I wouldn't trust her. And it was a huge mistake.
Mark?
Should have gotten rid of Figgy. Figgy's useless.
yeah, it was a very bad move on Hannah's part, and now she's lost the trust of Zeke and Adam, and now she's at the bottom of a 6% alliance. I mean, it's lose-lose for her, no matter how you slice it.
Absolutely.
hmm
As far as the move, I do think it was a bad move. I get what she was trying to do, but it put her on the bottom of the major alliance and the bottom of anyone else's list at that time. As far as we know, okay, of course, the whole thing with her not just leaving it be though, if if she would have just as soon as Zeke said, "Give me some time," and she walked away, the next morning she might have been able to talk to Zeke and actually everything would have been okay. I've seen it in a couple seasons already, where when the person who betrays someone else comes back that same night and starts trying to explain themselves, the person who got betrayed will not want to hear about it, does not want to know anything, does not want to even talk to the person.
Yeah.
Whereas if they just let it be and then come back later on, let's say the next morning, the next day, and just approach them and it's like, hey, let me tell you what my thoughts were on this. The other person might be a little bit cooled down, might be more receptive to hearing. They may not trust them later on still, but they're more receptive to hear what their decision was or what they were thinking at the time of the vote, and they might be able to smooth things over.
I think that you need a cool off period. He was too angry. You don't approach someone when they're that mad. You have to let him sleep it off, let him calm down. Then you can explain and maybe they'd understand, but not as soon as you get back, you can. They need time to cool off. And she's done. I'll be surprised if, depending on when the merge is, if she makes it to the merge. And I don't think past the merge, she'll go far.
So let's get into what the promos called. One of the biggest twists. So do you remember how the promos called it?
CBS Wednesday, the only guarantee Survivor will deliver a game-changing twist.
1, 2, 3.
A game-changing twist.
I mean, everybody had their thoughts on what it was going to be. Most people thought it was going to be some type of tribal swap. I thought it was going to be just a 2, but I heard it might have been into 3, depending on what they were trying to do. We didn't get any of that.
Nope.
I already knew that going into the episode. I looked at the promo pictures, the publicity photos, and I'm just going, nope, there's no third tribe. And you know what? It makes sense because it's just. Although I think with this sort of season where it's all new contestants, I think it would actually have benefit. It would have really gotten something out of it had they made the tribes into 3.
Well, that's what they did in Cambodia. Remember,
That's what they did in Cambodia. But with Cambodia, we already knew some of the players already. Some of them, mostly coming from the post Heroes vs. Villains era, specifically that trilogy of Cagayan, Saint Sur, and Worlds Apart. So it just felt like they could have gone for a couple more episodes, but it was their first time doing it, so maybe it was best off to just play it safe and just see what happens when it's three tribes of 6. But I think it would have been. On the other hand, I think it would have been weird if they had done it this soon, because it's just sort of it'd still be Millennials versus Gen X, but as 2 tribes, completely thrown out of the window. So maybe it was best off they didn't do it just then. I'm thinking now they're probably going to do it when it's 15, 5 people, 3 tribes.
We're talking about when they went to the summit, right? Is this what we're?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. I didn't see a need for it. The only thing that I picked up on was that I thought maybe wasn't a great move was David approaching Taylor and basically saying, "Yo, if we merge, we got each other." Like, if I was Taylor, I'm thinking, if he's already coming up to me already, that means he has nobody on Gen X.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with that. And if he does have people on Gen X, he's already throwing them under the bus. I don't want to be a part of that either. And he's basically saying, if the merge happens, I'm going to vote out a Gen X. You're voting out a number. The Gen Xers aren't getting rid of you in a merge because they need your number. It's all about numbers in the merge. So I thought it was just ridiculous. I thought that David revealed too much information to go there and say nothing.
Yeah.
But honey, this is Taylor he's talking to, so it's gonna go right through his head.
I agree. I totally agree. But like I said, I think that David's just so bad at this game.
He's lucky that he said that to Taylor and not anybody else important in the game.
If he would have
Yeah.
said it to Jay, I think
Oh,
that Jay
yeah.
would have taken
No.
it somewhere else.
No,
Yeah.
Taylor's gonna smoke. He's gonna forget it after.
Kissing Figgy.
No, I was gonna say that after rolling some doobies with the Doobie Brothers, but
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it out there.
The summit itself ended up being really big letdown, especially since the promo, and I mean, I don't get why they have to try to pull in as many people as they do with those words that they use. But
here's the thing: the most boring people from Millennials went. That's why this is so boring, because the people that needed to go from the Millennials didn't go. It's the most boring four ever.
What I did like was Zeke. Oh, I'm gonna be the biggest man in camp.
Oh, Zeke needed to be there. Adam needed to be there, and anybody else but those four. I mean,
Michaela. Oh my.
Yeah,
God.
that rock draw was just so. I don't know how. I mean, it must have been random because it had to be fair. But I mean, how in the world did the four people that did not need to be there all drew the orange rocks? That really frustrated me.
I feel like that happens a lot, especially like in All Stars, where they all drew the opposite buff except for Amber.
Or Nicaragua.
Yeah,
when it was guys versus girls.
Yeah,
and Chase decided to support the ladies.
It's rigged. It's all rigged.
Well, even what didn't that kind of happen in Cambodia, where almost
Yeah, it was sort of even genders there, because Vetus went first, then Shireen, and people are just wondering how is it 3 men, 3 women each?
So yeah, the twist, the game-changing twist that the promo said ended up being a dud. It didn't really amount to anything other than we found out that the Millennials are called Kendall. And what is it? Cece goes and tells the Gen Xers that that's what they were calling them, and we find out that Ken doesn't really like that nickname. What do you think of his reaction? What do y'all think of his reaction to his Kendall nickname?
I think it's an honest reaction. I mean, a woman wouldn't like to be called a Barbie doll, so I agree. I don't think it's cool. And why? Because it's basically saying he's just a pretty boy and he has nothing more to give. I mean, what is a Ken doll? You know, it's nothing. So I agree. And the fact that Cece told them, again, it's a bunch of stupid people playing this season.
How did you think of how David just when they got over there? Oh, he doesn't like that. We didn't see Ken tell David that he doesn't like it, but I mean they have to be.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when Cece tells the Gen Xers that they call him Ken doll, David says he doesn't like that. And they ask him, "You've been called that before?" And then goes, "Yeah, growing up, I've been called Ken. Hey, Ken, where's your Barbie?" Or, you know. So David knew he didn't like that, and so there had to be somewhere where they were talking, and he's telling them, "I don't like this. I don't like being called that." For David to be able to make that statement, or at least read him enough to where he knows that it's bothering him.
Yeah, with not David. With Ken, when he first said that he was always called that his life, and he looked sort of sad saying it. I'm just thinking, oh, and then he made some comment like, well, how would you like it if you were called, doll that had no penis?
Yeah.
And then I just went, bravo. We are breaking new grounds this season using the word. Was that like the second time? I think Suri used it once, and when she was checking out Shane's.
Oh yeah, the chafing.
Manhood.
Yeah. I feel because remember we found out about Ken is that he didn't have a lot of self esteem growing up. Um, so I feel like he might have been bullied or he might have been made fun of growing up, and that might have been part of it. So even as a grown up, even though he is now a model and he has this more confidence, that can still bother you because it takes you back to that spot. So yeah, I mean that was the summit. Other than Paul thinking that the millennials liked him, that was pretty much it. I mean,
ZZ Top.
ZZ Top.
yeah, I was
I'd
like,
probably like a bunch of groups that you guys never heard of.
so yeah. Other than that, there's not that much to go on there. We did hear Adam talking to Hannah and Michaela back in camp, and he's trying to get to them logically, trying to talk to them logically, and Michaela knows that she's supposed to say she should switch over to the other side of the alliance, and that it's probably better for her, especially if she doesn't like Figgy. But she does not look like she wants to even hear or even consider. She says she'll think about it, but I don't think she's going to consider going with them just because she's already in an alliance, and I think it's a mistake.
It's a huge mistake. Again, numbers. You have to see where you lie in that alliance. And she is at the bottom. You don't go to an alliance when you're at the bottom and you'll be the first person they'll vote off. Adam made a great point and Michaela just basically dismissed it. And you know what? You deserve to lose.
Yeah. Uh, Especially since you know that the other person doesn't like you, and you've already said to each other we don't like each other pretty much. Why would you want to stick around? That is when you know the first time that it comes to one or the other, you're gonna be gone. So let's move on to the immunity challenge. Before we talk about anything that happened in the immunity challenge, what did y'all think of the actual challenge itself? Kim?
It was okay. They're all kind of the same to me, to be honest. But I liked it. It was fun.
Aaron?
I thought it was an even um, playing field for both teams. I didn't think that any team had an advantage because of age.
Especially since they let them decide if one person can actually carry all the weight, and
Yes.
didn't make them all carry the weight. Unlike I think other challenges in other seasons, they've made them like you have to do it. But they gave them the chance. You can cross it by yourself, but let someone else carry the weight for you. What did you think, Mark?
Um, it's a nice little twist having them put the puzzle back together after they destroy it. It kind of hits on different skill points, so I thought on that end that was pretty fair.
Aaron?
Yeah, same sort of thing. I mean, you've been on the air for 16 years. You have 2 seasons a year, with the exception of Borneo. And it comes to the point where, every challenge is we're going to have a lot of challenges that are going to, be the same more or less. But I will agree with Mark about, I just saw that, like, sometimes there are just times that I am not paying attention to how the immunity challenge is going to work. And I'm just looking at them knocking the blocks off, and then, all right, they're going to start their puzzle. Wait a minute. Didn't they just knock those off? So the two people, they were memorizing what it looked like. Okay, I'll give some kudos there. And the whole bean bag or whatever, the throwing.
Yeah.
Where's Debbie when you need her?
Oh yeah, she was really good at that. But honestly, as far as the puzzle, and I say that with quotation marks, I didn't really consider that a puzzle. More like a memory kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Memory. Just
Yeah.
had to remember how it went. There wasn't pieces to put together. They were all blocks.
Then
Yeah,
again, the logo's right on their buffs.
yeah, exactly.
True.
they've been, and then not only that, when they walked in, there was another. I don't know if it was the same thing that they walked by, but I saw another thing where it shows the exact same thing they're gonna make at the end of the challenge. I would have preferred a different type of puzzle at the very end, but I mean it wasn't bad. Uh, Kim, you said you wanted to talk about something that specifically happened at the immunity challenge.
Well, two things. First, I 100% blame Cece on that loss.
Yes.
Agreed.
I'll talk about that for a minute. She should have just dropped the bag, ran back, and did it. It's not like, let me finish this, look what I did for the team. No, three and a half people made it through before you finished. And if I was on that tribe, I would have been telling her, drop it, come back and run. And I'm surprised Lucy didn't, because this is what I want to talk about. We finally got to see who Lucy is and who I thought she was when I read her bio. They're talking to her, and she was basically telling them, shut up. She was just, I'm like, holy, these are your tri-mates. Where is your management here? And I'm just like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is the Lucy finally we're getting to see 3 episodes in. And I'm like, you're gone next week, because now that we see it, it's going to happen.
Now, did anybody have any problems with the ability to hold on to the balance beam with your hand as you walk through it? Because, I mean, Will was having a bit of an issue getting by. I don't know if it's because he was so tall, but he could have just held on to that balance beam all the way through and not fallen off.
I didn't really think about it. In regards to Lucy, we're talking about Lucy from Peanuts, right? Because I'm missing producer from last week.
Oh.
Pretty
I've only heard this name twice, and I don't even know who that is.
Who, Lucy?
Yeah, who?
And you didn't see it for like 3 episodes, and then she's finally there, and they're probably like, who is this person on the beam yelling at them?
She's actually been on the show with us for the last 3 weeks, if you guys didn't know.
Did we actually cast this person? It's probably what production is saying to themselves.
Yeah.
Lynn Spellman's kicking herself.
Oh, well.
So, do you think the whole CC thing was because she was trying to say, let me prove to myself I can do it? Or do you think she was just being stubborn? Or do you think she just wasn't paying attention to what she needed to do?
Stubborn, I'm going to do it it's all of it. She was an idiot. She was an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that Cece's a goddess no matter what. So.
I know what else I wanted to touch base on the immunity challenge was at the end when the Millennials said, we will give up the luxury for fishing gear. And I would have said, no, too bad. You had your chance and you picked chickens. Okay? Too bad. You have to figure out another way. I would not have given it to them for anything, especially when you lost 2 of the 3 challenges.
What I would have said is like, maybe if you guys want to go to tribal.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Now, were they offered, and I'm not sure, the luxury items? Like, was the Gen X offered it? Like, if we allow you to have the fishing gear, do we get these luxury items?
They didn't offer it. It was Jeff that did it.
Correction. They are now emotional items.
Emotional.
Since last season. Emotional.
Oh, but the emotional items were their luxury items.
They were, that's the stuff they brought themselves. This is luxury items that production is providing for winning challenges.
Wait, there's a difference between the two?
Yes. Yes.
I thought they were the same thing, and that Jeff just decided, I'm calling them emotional items because we've never done it before.
Yeah, because Jason had that little bear, and that's not luxury. That's emotional.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it?
Unless you can cut it open for its flesh, but you know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would have said. I would have said, "Did you guys want the fishing gear? You want it that bad?" You guys go to tribal, give us the immunity, and you guys can get the fishing gear. And that way, Ken wouldn't have come out sounding so dickish and like we thought about it, and yeah, you guys gonna stick with the luxury, guys. We'll stick with the fishing gear.
They deserve to. What would you have done? I would not have given.
I wouldn't have given it to him. I would not have given it to him. But I was thinking I would have given him that option, knowing that they probably won't do it, and that way you're not sounding so dickish like Ken did when when he said what he said. It's like he was like, yeah, because it sounded like he was gonna say yes, go ahead and take it, but then he said, yeah, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm playing around.
Here's the thing: which one would you have rather given? And they were saying that the comfort items, the pillows and comforters, that stuff, that's more valuable than the fishing gear because it gives you physical comfort.
I don't think so.
I think those blankets get pretty nasty after a couple of days.
I want to eat. I'll find a way to be comfortable out there. I want to eat. You're weak if you don't eat. And having a blanket and a pillow isn't going to change that for me. I'd rather have food.
It rains once, and those blankets and those pillows are...
Yeah, those are done.
They're done. They're gone. I mean, you can still use them, but they're going to be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to smell to holy hell.
Yeah.
That just reminded me about the aforementioned Michaela interview of her confessional. She mentioned that they smell so warm and stuff. They're probably going to stank in a couple of days, but I just want to smell them because it smells like home or something like that.
Oh, I love the part where Michaela's like, if they were our parents, they would have given it to us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, they wouldn't have. I'm a mom. Nope. I've been like, too bad. You know what? You should have grabbed the fishing gear to begin with. And I don't think I don't know if it's an age thing. You're all millennials. How you don't think fishing gear? Because maybe it was work and nobody wanted to fish? I don't know. There's so much those chickens and roosters can give you. You kill one chicken, that's very little chicken for all those people. That's it. It's over.
You have to I want them to take the chickens because then you have chicken drama.
Chicken drama?
You get the whole Frank Costanza.
Yeah.
Dilemma.
I don't know if people are going to kill the chickens anymore. I mean, time might have ruined it.
I'll kill a chicken if I ever get out there.
I wouldn't. I couldn't do it.
Did you hear what happened in Heroes vs. Villains? When they wanted to kill the chicken, but nobody wanted to be the one to kill it, and Russell just grabbed it by the neck and just started just slamming it everywhere, and everyone got pissed at Russell and was like, "What? You guys wanted me to kill it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not that you killed it; it's the way you killed it."
That's why he lost.
Well, that's
hence why you do not get any jury votes. Right? You beat the crap out of a chicken. And and then during that season, what was he? He was arrested for domestic assault against a woman.
Against
so I'm guessing chicken
wife, I think.
Chicken women.
I have a Russell story for you, real quick. We were friends on Facebook, right?
Oh boy!
And he once sent me
blindsided.
like a DM or a private message, like, "Hey, why don't you come over?" I'm like, how many women really respond? Okay.
Oh no!
I actually
Kim.
And I've shared this with Mark, and I don't know if I've shared this with Aaron. I was actually a fan of Russell on the show his first season.
Yeah, I did like him, and
he was fun the first season.
Yeah, it wasn't until after I started seeing him out of the show that I really started to dislike him.
100% I agree. I thought he should have won. I thought it was a bitter jury. And then he has me blocked on Twitter. I called him out on something and he blocked me.
Well, they didn't like him. They did not like him in Samoa.
Personally, somebody, I forgot who it was, said, you didn't live with him. He was horrible.
I think that was Laura.
It could have been.
Yeah, Laura hated him.
With Natalie, I mean, the whole thing about in the end, and I have to give credit to Mario Lanza in his book. He best describes that in the end, the jury vote is really a popularity contest. They're picking the person that they like the best, and not only that, it's really coming down to not only who they like more, but who they like more as a human being.
I agree with you, but again, I'm going to go back to Aubrey. She really didn't have bad jury management. I didn't think she did. I can see Russell's, but I didn't see it with her. And I will always blame Jason and Scott. I think they were bitter because they were alpha males and no woman's going to outsmart me or outdo this. I mean, who was the chick they basically tackled for the veto? Oh my God, what was her name? The blonde. It's up in the tree and Alicia. It came down. They like tackled her like she was a man for that veto.
They did want Aubrey out when Neil was medevaced.
Neil didn't give her the veto, the hidden immunity item.
Yeah.
Like
we got totally off track.
Yeah.
So
it's because this episode was this episode, like we said at the beginning, they didn't have a lot of substance to it. The little things that it did have were pretty interesting, but it was very little things. We go back to the Gen X tribe because of course they lose after Ken almost brought them back, but the puzzle making wasn't there as strong. So they go back to tribal council. Beforehand, though, we have Ken, we have David, and we have Cece who say that they need to try to do something. I don't feel like they did something. It is Jessica, Sunday, and Lucy who decide that they're going to turn this around because of a conversation with Paul. What did you guys think of this conversation, Mark?
Oh, Paul. I think he had something else in his mind, and then something else completely different came out, and it was taken the wrong way. But, you know, Paul's been in his own little world since day one, so this is not surprising to anybody. So, yeah. Good job, Paul.
I think he said something not meaning to say it, but I think it's what he really did mean. I mean, if that makes sense.
It's subconscious.
Yeah. But I was also thinking of this is maybe he was thinking of staying with the girls. And when he said, "See you girls," he was actually talking to the guys as an insult to them. Like how guys will talk to each other, calling each other a girl or woman, whatever like that. I think with the way he talks, the way he himself expresses himself, I think he might have used that as an insult to the guys. I don't think that's what he meant, because I think he really did a Freudian slip and said what he meant to say without meaning to say it.
In all honesty, by that point in the episode, I was just zonked out and just really wasn't paying attention. I just thought, Paul's going. He's going. That's all that was going through my head. I just thought, Paul's going.
I feel like that Paul was gonna go, but I thought that Ken and David were gonna do something to cause it to happen, and not Paul on himself.
But what? Again, going back to David really does nothing. I didn't expect him to try to flip the vote. I didn't. I thought maybe Ken tried, making sense, I guess, when he talked to the girls, but they didn't really do anything. Neither one of them did, but Ken has better social skills than David. Ken is better at comps. So I don't expect David to do anything. I'm honestly surprised he gets up and goes to the immunity challenges.
Well, even Cece, when she came back from the immunity challenge, she just sat there and didn't do anything. She even said, nobody's come to talk to me about it. guess what? If nobody's
You
going
have
to
to-
talk to you about what's
You
going to
have a
happen,
problem.
there's
Yeah.
a problem going on.
And then the things that sometimes you have to own your mistakes. Cece could have said, you know what? I got lost in translation. I didn't realize how long I was on that beam. I'm sorry. Something that you have to not completely admit everything, like we lost because of me, but you have to say, I need to take partial blame for taking an hour on the beam.
Yeah. Anything before we get to the actual tribal?
Well, do I talk about more about David, or as to maybe why they ended up? Was it the ladies ended up? I think it was more so Jessica, from what I can remember. Because
Yeah, I think Jessica got paranoid.
Well, I mean,
I really wanted to talk about with in terms of David. There is a secret scene with her, and she talks about how it's a video on there. You can go on YouTube, subscribe to the Survivor YouTube page, and the video is called "An Interesting Individual," and it's really just her talking about David and that he's made so much progress. So maybe that's what won her over, or did she vote for Paul?
I think everybody voted for Paul except
Chris and Brett.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody. They looked
Paul voted for
completely. Oh no, obviously. Chris and Brett were. I think they were more blindsided than Paul because they
Yes.
just looked floored. But again, if I'm Ken or David doesn't think, but if I'm Ken or Sunday or any of them, I'm not voting out Chris and Brett next. You need them because if you keep on losing challenges, you're going to merge and you're not going to have the numbers. You need to keep Chris and Brett, and you have to get rid of David and Cece. Those are the next two that have to go if they want to get to that merge without constantly losing.
Yeah.
I'll give kudos for David being out there, but you know.
I do, but he's if he's on my tribe, he's going. I can't be like, you know what? I'm going to give you a pat on the back. But good for him, but he's just bad.
Liability. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably
he's
be I'd probably be his buddy when we go on the pre-jury trip, which they look really nice if you go on Facebook.
I imagine. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if how the pay works compared to like Big Brother, where if you make jury, you make more money. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I might want to be like, you know what? Get me out right before pre-jury, but I also don't know how nice of a place Ponderosa is. In reality, I don't know how nice it is to where they're staying because they definitely look clean.
Well, they get $2,500. The first person voted out gets $2,500. I
Ooh,
think.
wow.
And
That's-
not only that, they get like 10,000 for the
They
reunion.
get 10,000 for if they attend the reunion,
Ooh.
which they've been able. So you can make. Then you got to, unlike Richard Hatch, pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So you can make some money off of.
I'll be
know,
like,
And
I
there's
made
the
all this
pre-jury
money.
vacation.
and
yeah.
I think they even do it for the people who quit.
I made all this money on Survivor, but I didn't make money when for not working. So can I deduct that?
Mm-hmm.
Oy.
So yeah. Yeah.
So Survivor Millennials versus Gen X.
We've been doing that a lot this episode.
Because this episode is just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now let's get the
Anything
tribal
else?
council here.
Yeah. I know.
Because, God.
How much can we talk about the tribal council
Well,
anyway?
the thing, and I know what Aaron's talking about is that here's the reason why I don't like the themed seasons And I said it in the first episode, and the second episode, I've said it. Even last season, I said it. They kept trying to insist that the tribes are acting a certain way, or they should act a certain way, and because the people around those tribes, I'm pretty sure they tell them, you talk about your tribe the way you're supposed to, the way you think about it based on what tribe you're on. If you're on the brains tribe, think about it as if you were brain. If you're on the beauty tribe, think of it as if you're on the beauty tribe. If you are blue collar, think of it as blue. Uh, and this time around, they're thinking about it as the generations.
They're
You do
pushing
this.
way too hard. Like Jeff brought up vinyl records. I am a Gen Xer. I've never used a vinyl record. It's for music lovers or what's it called? Oh my god,
audio files.
Audio files.
No, who's older than us? Is Gen Xers?
Baby boomers.
Baby
boomers. Baby boomers have vinyls. I was cassette, but you're a music lover, so that's the difference.
Well, cassette's analog.
It's not in our age range for Gen Xers to really have vinyls. It's cassette. You really want to go old school, it's cassette.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't bring up like 8 tracks.
Oh, 8 tracks are just the thing that bugged me about them is that the album is not in the order that it's supposed to be in, but that's getting off topic like we've done so many times in this episode. But what really, really bugs me about this whole thing, and just to reiterate or just to remind people of what happened at Tribal Council, it just came to the point where Jeff decided, okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Paul, do you text? No.
No, that's right.
Sunday, do you text? Yeah. Thank you, Sunday, for being the crusher there. But no, he's still going. Now, when you use the word you, as in the phrase, see you later, do you use the letter or the whole word to substitute for it? What? Well,
Like, where did the hell did that come
where's
from?
this coming from? And then, well, maybe the millennials, they're speaking their own language. Cue to Ken going on about, oh, language is beautiful and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then Probst is going on and saying, well, you might be still, you're probably the one still saying vinyl's the only way to listen to music. Like,
it was so ridiculous. I can tell you this. There are times where I'm texting and I'm not spelling out a whole word because I just want to get my point across. And I will put K for okay. On Twitter, when you're limited to your characters, I will put you for the letter U, letter U for the word. So it has, again, nothing to do with age. It's just enough with
Convenience.
it already.
2 things that really bug, well, actually 3 things. 1, that this happened and that Probst had to bring it up. 2, in that this was another what I think I am convinced that Probst gave the A-OK for the theme of the season because 1, it was totally new and has never been done before. Nicaragua says hello. And the other being that it just gave him an excuse to bring his talk show back. And the other reason why what bugged me about his statistics is that he thinks that millennials are not going to like vinyl records. Now, I don't know if Jeff, I'll cut him some slack because he's in the U.S. for only so long every year because he's got to go, fly over to whatever country or whatever. I don't know how many times he's in the U.S. But if he were to look online and, pop into a record store, resurgence.
Millennials are the ones who are using the records more than Gen Xers. And millennials type out the word you. It's enough with this. It's just, I can't wait till they merge or they swap tribes or whatever so it ends.
Yeah.
Oh, and then should we mention the tweet that Probst, because I believe that this man is But the tweet that he made here, hold on, where is it? Let me find it here.
I have Survivor blocked on Twitter because sometimes I give unintentional spoilers, and I have them blocked so I don't see
So
anything.
apparently that happens with Australian Survivor too, and
Here it is. I found it.
the tweet.
Okay. Now with Jeff, I'll give him kudos for really staying in touch with the fans for the last 5 years or so. Like he's been. If you're unaware of what Jeff does during the show, he tweets during the show for both sides of both coasts, east and west, and I guess central or whatever. And he tweets them back and forth. And if somebody asks a question, he'll reply to it, and then he'll say, "Hey, you get a buff," or something like that. So he makes it very interactive, or as he calls it, he was calling it during Redemption Island, the quote unquote our virtual living room. So he tweeted this, and I'm guessing this is during when the episode aired. He said, the tweet says, #Survivor, one of my all-time favorite tribal chats. So spot on with our culture right now. Survivor, one of the few shows that can do this. Shut up. And he got 45 retweets, probably because I would pray that half of those 45 people think that he's delusional. And then he gets 408 favorites on it.
I think he's trying to keep it relevant, but if you
he's selling a product.
Yeah, but if you just look at the ratings have stayed. I know they've dropped from when it started, but the last couple seasons it stayed pretty consistent. Now the last 2-3 seasons.
Well, it's impressive that first show. I mean, there are some theories as to why Survivor has been able to stay on the air for so long. But I mean, they're not getting the viewers that they did, and that finale, which I think had about 70 million viewers or something like that. Whereas with these seasons, I mean, the lowest that viewers that they're going to get is probably 9 to 10 million, and I think part of that has to do with the fan base is fairly loyal, and this is probably going to upset some people, but it is on CBS, and CBS does have the reputation of being the quote-unquote old people's channel.
The Gen X channel, the baby boomer channel.
So you see, that's why these shows, I mean, Two Broke Girls should not have been on the air right now. I mean, there's shows that are lasting. But Cochran's sitcom didn't get the last, but...
But yeah, I think he tries to keep it relevant, but I don't think I think he does too much for what we need. Like I said, it's been able to stay with a consistent viewership, and I think he tries too hard. I don't think he needs to be trying that hard. I'm glad that he keeps in touch with the fans. I like that, but sometimes the things he says, sometimes even the themes. I feel like the themes are here so that we won't get distracted, or even to distract us, or to give us something shiny to look at, or something like that.
They're thinking that that people are not going to watch if there isn't a theme.
Yeah.
You know that these 10 million people, I mean, that's a pretty darn good number for a show that's 16 years old. People are going to watch it no matter what. I mean, unless it's Russell versus Brandon, then
he was crazy.
Then we're probably not going to watch. But even then, we're probably going to watch and squeeze it out or whatnot. So just get it over with.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. Last week they had 9.16 million viewers, and this week, right after the Salty Boot, we're left with 8.6, and that's 500,000 people dropping out
because of Mari.
Yeah, incredible.
Okay.
Here, I have a question for you. Do you think production influences Survivor as much as it does Big Brother?
I don't watch
less.
Big Brother, so I don't know.
Much less.
Same here. I did think about getting into watching Big Brother. At the time, I rewatched the first 2 seasons of Survivor in their entirety, given that I joined in the first episode of Marquesas. I watched them in their entirety, and I was looking at Big Brother and thinking, maybe this would be worth checking out.
There's too
Then
many
I saw that
episodes.
there were 67 episodes in the first season. I just went, see ya.
Yeah, there's too many episodes.
Yeah.
I did watch. Big Brother Mexico. So yeah. Well,
That's a different game, though.
the Big Brother. It's called Big Brother VIP. It's in the Mexican. It's the celebrity version of them.
If this
Yeah,
were an
well,
episode of Friends, this would be called the one where we get off topic.
Yeah.
Who cares?
We're gonna end
I love
after the
Friends.
after editing. We're gonna end up with like 20 minutes of show.
Oh, please.
You could put it in the after show.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to what I said we're going to talk about every week here. What is there any player that has changed your mind from last 2 weeks to this week? Kim?
Nothing really happened this week, so it's really hard to say. I think that like Ken trying to at least step up the game a little bit and trying to get Paul out, even though I do think the girls are the one who really influenced that, was good. On Millennials. Nothing. There was nothing that happened on the Millennial Tribe that makes me change my mind. I still will say that I think Ken will be in the end. I'm still sticking with that, and I'm staying. Ken is, each episode I think is doing a little bit better. Other than that, no.
Aaron, any changes in thoughts?
Really nothing happened this episode, so the changes are not going to be very big here. For Jen, I mean, I still have my favorites. I'm still saying, stay strong, girl, for David and some other people. Still holding out there for them. If not, they will go on a wonderful trip with the pre-jury. In terms of people who I think are have changed me or whatever, I'll say Gen X. I'll say Lucy, only because it turns out that she can speak. And
I thought she was mute for a while.
Mm-hmm. And in all honesty, I remember her pre-show interview being one of my favorites. And then she goes on the show and her. I just keep using Arrested Development jokes one after another here. In terms of Millennials, oh jeez. Adam? I mean, I always thought the guy was nice, but he's a well-spoken young guy, I guess, talking to Michaela or whatever. I mean, I don't know what's going to come of it, but...
Yelling at the camera all the time.
Or what I think... Well, I've seen that... we have a little thread in one of the groups where we look at... where we try to find... it might be stalkerish, but... It's really interesting because it lets you know these people are real and they exist in America or whatnot and whatnot. What we do is Survivor contestants. There's a lot on there, and I looked for ones for this season since nobody else was doing it, and I looked up for Adam, and there were a bunch of him. And it should come as no surprise. The guy was in a lot of acting clubs and groups. And looking at his confessionals, especially where he went unprecedented or what, yeah, that's what he said. I think he's going to be a little bit of a drama king or queen or whatever. But really nothing happened this episode. So I'm going to say Lucy because she spoke. And Adam, that is my final answer.
Mark?
For me, Hannah annoyed me a little more than usual because she just couldn't shut up. And honestly, Gen X, I'm still not feeling a whole lot from the Gen X group except for Ken, and I've watched back the first couple episodes, and I'm feeling a little better about Brett as time is coming along.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, so I'm feeling good about Ken and Brett, and maybe Yeah, maybe Adam, but everybody else is kind of blah.
Yeah, we forgot to mention about Brett, that he talked about shocks.
Oh yeah. Who was it that was talking? Was it Jessica? And she even like says it again in his accent. Shocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we gonna talk about the previews for next week?
Yes. Let me get real
Ooh.
quick here because I didn't say mine. The only thing that I can really say that I've changed my mind on the people is I'm liking Michaela more and more every week, and I think that's with everyone here. Um, I didn't like David's whole willing to throw Gen X down, under the bus right away, with Taylor, especially since he doesn't know who Taylor is and that he is being controlled right now by Figgy. Uh, so I'm starting to wane on David, and I'm starting to feel that that if he does make it to the end, he's not going to get any votes because he's going to be betraying a lot of people to get there. Um, Other than that, we don't really know what's gonna what. I can't really say I don't like anybody else or I've stopped liking somebody because of this episode. So yeah, let's talk about the preview. We see, um, well,
We
Aaron, you were very
Oh,
happy about the preview.
yes. The last little shot during the challenge or whatever it's going to be. Probst is dragged by the oceans of Fiji, and you can see that he's. I've only seen the shot once. I'm sure it's going to be gifed a bunch of times and whatnot for the years to come. But my memory seems to be that he looked really worried, and then he just sort of smiled, just like whoa. But the whole thing, it was just my heart melted because the oceans of Fiji are doing what I would like them to do to Jeff Probst.
Getting Jeff Probst wet? What?
Take him away.
Gross. No, I just take him away. Just tell him that it isn't the Jeff Probst show anymore. That you had your chance to have your own talk show, Jiffy Pop. Okay. No one watched it. Okay, maybe I did a few times and just to see what it was like to watch paint dry, but you had your chance. Okay? The next thing you're going to get is probably maybe if Rock and Roll Jeopardy has a revival, which would be awesome.
That will be awesome.
But I just don't see. He doesn't need to be the host of it. They should get like Ricky Rackman or whatever, the MTV Headbangers Ball guy. But yes, my point being, the oceans of Fiji have illustrated my thoughts and feelings about Jeff Probst.
I was really excited to see Lucy finally be who she is.
Tiger Mom
Really,
out.
I'm really looking forward to it next week because that's exactly why I wouldn't pick her in a draft, because I was able to see how she was in her bio and everything. Granted, I picked Taylor in a draft, so I'll pick Figgy. So
Yeah.
it's even. Neither one of us picked David.
We might actually have the best tribe though by accident.
I don't think Taylor and Figgy are going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, so and Sunday I think is okay for now. David, and I think David might make it, but he's gonna be betraying people left and right.
But I can't wait. I think Lucy is, if Gen X loses next week, Lucy is gone. But the way they edited it, I'm guessing Millennials is gonna lose.
Yeah. All right. So we have about 20 minutes of show, 40 minutes of off topic.
That should be a message.
Let's let's try to do it in like 10, 15 minutes. AU real quick, Survivor Australia, Australian
I
Survivor.
love Survivor Australia.
Um, the last episode is episode 19, right? Everyone's caught up.
18
Yes.
and 19, it should be over by now. But
Okay.
Yeah.
if it's in Australia, it's still going.
We're
Yeah,
halfway through the game.
yeah, we're halfway through the game. All right, so with like I said, let's try to wrap it up real quick. Mark, what do you think of what's going on so far in Australian Survivor?
Um, Matt is a dum dum. Sam is
Yep.
annoying, and the girls are gonna take this. There's gonna be 2 ladies in the finale. Mark my words.
It 100% should be that way. Matt had a chance to do something, and instead of listening to Nick, who told him, "You're at the bottom of this alliance," everyone, "You're at the bottom of this alliance," he's
Yeah.
told again, and he runs to Brooke like a lost puppy and says, "I was told I'm bottom of the alliance." It's like, holy crap, you deserve to lose. And you know what? If he doesn't go home next week, it's because the 5 are finally turning on each other.
And that's because he was my favorite for such a long time. Him and Nick.
Yes, Nick and Matt were my favorites besides my love for Phoebe.
Yeah.
And they really were. And Matt had this opportunity to prove you're a game player. You're going to make a big move. And he does nothing. He really hasn't. And I think I just liked his personality so much that I was blinded that maybe he didn't play that great of a game, because he didn't. And he doesn't deserve to win if he makes it to the end. If he's sitting next to one of those 3 girls, he should lose. And I like Matt, but I'm keeping it real.
Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, same things with Matt here. I mean, he's still an interesting character. I mean, I really liked, that he had a bit of a sense of humor, and the episode before, I think he was talking about how he was bullied or not and he felt sorry for him, and that his fiance told him that, that he's going to try, that the worst thing that's going to happen to him is if, he's going to try too hard to have people get to like him. Aww. And then he did it. And then he did the thing with whatever. And I just thought, no, honey boo boo child, no.
But I think that Matt's confessional was one of the most honest and real confessionals we've seen in a long time. I did not know that about Matt. I look at Matt and I'm thinking, really, he wasn't. I don't like to use the word popular, but he didn't have a lot of friends. He seems like such a cool guy that you would think that he had a lot of friends. So I was pretty surprised by what he said.
Not only that, but to the point where it actually molded to what he actually became in as an adult. He became a magician because he wanted to make friends. He wanted to show people things,
Illusions, Michael.
Yes.
Um,
So yeah, I still like Matt, but I'm gonna say I like Matt as a person from what we see on TV. As a Survivor player, it looked like he was doing pretty good up until the last couple of episodes where he kind of blew it, and I can't see him making it all to the end. Right now I see Brooke winning it, taking it all.
Me too, cosign. I see
Yeah.
Brooke.
I'm hoping that Christy might be able to sneak in there and try to do something.
Please.
No, Christy doesn't. She hasn't done anything.
Her.
That's what I'm saying.
I adore her.
No, she doesn't deserve it.
I like Christy because she's so weird.
Yes.
and like
But
I
she
said
does
before,
nothing.
I love the weirdos.
But she doesn't deserve to win $500,000.
Oh no, she's not gonna win. She's gonna
No.
screw up somebody's game. That's what she's gonna
No.
do.
Well, in one of our groups, we're somebody's considering that Christy's doing Matt Vaughn, whatever his name was from Amazon. Like he's doing a Matthew Vaughn Sralda.
Being dragged. Honestly, she didn't make the tribe flip on Phoebe. They they would flip it on Phoebe anyway because they knew they couldn't take Phoebe to the merge. She has done nothing, zero.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's gonna win. I think she'll make it to make it towards the end. She will
Let
screw
me
somebody
look
over.
let me look at my thing here. What final two situations do I see her winning?
Nothing. She can't win.
I don't think there's a win. I don't think there's anybody.
The only
Sam?
Maybe Sam or maybe Matt.
Sam.
No, I think Matt beats her. I think Matt beats her.
Matt beats her, but Sam, because of how he has poor jury management skills, but that would be it. She can't beat anyone else.
I had Christy win against Brooke. No,
I don't think. I don't know.
If she won against Brooke, it would be like Aubrey last year. Absolutely not. No.
She might even.
I would love to see the freak out though. Now, as far as my thoughts about the other people here, Brooke, I really don't think. I mean, there was that episode with the Nick boot when she did get her letter, and we got to find out a little bit more about her. I mean, that's what I want from her. As far as Elle, I really like her, even though she's not getting too much confessions.
You know what? I forgot about Elle.
She's playing a very, very clean game. She supported.
She's our Australian Lucy.
She supported both Chris. She supported Christy in the very beginning of the game when people were sort of thinking of her as a weirdo and whatnot, and she just sort of, come on, bring it in for a hug, sort of a thing. Same thing with Nick, and she also gave her letter to Flick. So she's cool.
But other than being a cool chick and nice, Brooke and Flick are the ones that are controlling that 3-girl alliance. They're the ones who are deciding who goes home. Elle just happens to be there.
Do you think if Jenna Louise makes it, do you think she has a chance against Brooke?
Yes.
Let me look.
I think she does because better jury management, and if they can see her as the underdog that won her way to the top, so maybe.
So that's the only
fighting chance she has. Like, I came into this, everybody was after me every week, and I managed to get out, and I won challenge after challenge, and I was able to flip a vote here. That would be her saving grace. But ultimately, I'm with you. I think Brooke should win. The only person I can see her losing to without freaking out would be Flick. And the one we just said.
Elle.
Because not Elle. No, I don't think she can beat Elle. I don't think Elle could beat her. Oh my God.
Well, I'm just going by who's the most likable. I'm going by the Mario Lanza logic.
What's her name?
Most likable.
The blonde. We just
That's what it ends up.
Jenna Louise.
Jenna
Louise is the most likable.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in any case of her, no, most likable by the jury.
I think Jenna Louise. Jenna Louise is
okay. So she wins in every one of her. So she wins in every one of her final two scenarios.
I don't think. No. I don't think she'll win in every final two scenario. But I don't think it would be an outcry if she beat Brooke, because she's good at challenges. You know, she's not just someone who did nothing and got taken to the final two. That would be Christy.
Well, I would like to get my feelings about the other people left in Australia here, just briefly. As far as
Sam shouldn't beat anybody.
Yeah, Sam, he really declined. There was the one moment where I thought that he really cracked me up at the auction when he won nachos and he went, "Oh, that's my favorite meal." Yeah, that really cracked me up. But after that, it just slow decline. Just a very, very. He's useless now. As far as Jenna, I mean, Jenna has a nice arc that she really wasn't. She was with Craig. Sanapu picked her off so that they could split the two, and then now she's outlasted the person who really brought her there, which was Nick. So she's got some sort of arc going on there. As far as
no one has Australian Terrier there on their.
No. As far as Lee,
That's why Australian Terry.
he bores me.
Yeah.
As far as Sam, we already talked about Flick. I really want to like Flick as far as, and the same thing with Brooke. I don't know if it's just a pagonging, but even before then, when that one episode where Connor decided to go over to the Vow, I had her written down as the one I wanted to see go, but no, she would have just flipped over to the other tribe. And she really, before I get to that Flick, Christy, love her as a character. She probably doesn't win, but she's really, I mean, compared to where she started up, I mean, from that second episode where she was really struggling out there, and she is a bit odd. I remember when she was fishing with Rose, what are you doing? Oh, I'm fishing with Rose pants.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's just the music. Dum da dum.
She got the dodo.
With Flick, the thing that really pissed me off about her this last week is that she said in the end that this game is not, in the end, it's not, something about it's not based on friendship. In some ways it is. I mean, the jury's just voting for the person they like the most in the end.
I don't think they always vote for who they like the most. I think it is the case sometimes, but I think they liked Wu more than Tony, and Wu lost.
Because Wu didn't do anything.
Or that because
Yeah,
he
but they
was
still
sneaking
liked
into
him more.
production.
Yeah.
He was sneaking into production tents.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they called him Weasel Wu because he was sneaking into stealing food and stealing water.
So he was the modern day version of Wigglesworth without the sandwiches, and we can't. There are children here, so we can't talk about that.
I'm not a big fan of Wigglesworth. So
Way to
when
make
we end
Wigglesworth relevant again, somehow.
Well, she's now got a show with Joe, which is going to. I mean, here I'm going to say something positive about their little friendship. Good for them that they found something in Cambodia, because really Cambodia was. But really, like their show is just gonna. I mean, they're trying to do. I don't even know what their shows are. It's being promoted as Kelly and Joe going to different countries and helping out other people, and then Kelly's got her. Wigglesworth's got her daughter with her, and it's just.
Those two don't talk, and on a show like that where they have to carry the show.
If we're on a network, it would be on OWN. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we take a minute just to appreciate Sue's game? How she was the oldest out there, out of this merged tribe, and she kept on fighting, and she didn't really just lay there and give up. I think Sue's game is something to be said about.
I loved her
absolutely.
participation, her challenge when she was doing the coconuts. I think she stayed up there so much longer than everyone even thought she was going to stay up there. And I think she was doing pretty good in the challenges, like you said. Yeah,
I love Sue.
I love her.
I've really liked her. That's one of the reasons I said, like, when we had Sunday, I'm like, I hope that Sunday gives me Sue, because Sue, how she made it as far as she did with no solid alliance. She was in no alliance the entire time.
Yep.
She just voted how she wanted, and she was loyal to a fault, you know? She was really good. I hated to see her go. I wanted Chrissy to go over her, you know?
I didn't want to see any of them go. No.
It stunk. Believe me, I would have rather seen the flip and them get Brooke or Flick out, because granted, they deserve to win, but that would have been a move. I'm excited to see who wins immunity, and what I like to happen is Matt to grow a brain, find the idol, Jenna Louise win immunity, and see what they do. Are they going to vote off Chrissy like an idiot? Are they going to flip? Are they going to finally turn? Because we deserve the turn. We deserve them going after each other. It's long enough. We need it.
Well, we probably know that Elle and Lee are probably going to stick together because.
Well, they're together a couple now, and they mentioned
Yeah.
it in last episode that Elle and Lee spend a lot of time together and would never vote each other out.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Mm-hmm.
All right. We're gonna go leave it
I
there.
gotta go to bed.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. We'll go ahead and see you guys next week, and we'll talk about one episode of American Survivor and 3 or 4 more episodes of Australian Survivor.
Maybe
So,
5.
yeah. So before we leave, Mark, any last words?
You can find me on Twitter at Marco Polo 310.
Aaron?
You can find me on Facebook and whatnot. The other thing, okay, I want to mention the YouTube channel. I have a video ready to go up there, of all things. Yes, even this classic rock lover of me. I did a little review on a set of ABBA albums that I bought, so do a little bit of an inside look on that, so that'll go up. There might be a little bit of an interview I might be doing, maybe a blog with a band called Lucifer's Friend. I just sent an email out. They're worth checking out. Band from the 70s, German hard rock music. So there might be some things coming from me, but yeah, you can check out the YouTube channel and you can find me on Facebook, and I'm also on Twitter, Aaron_Con.
Kim?
You can find me on Twitter at Kim_is_board.
And you can
And I
find
tweet
me
about Survivor.
always, and Big Brother.
Yes, and Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
And you can find me at Perspective on pretty much almost all the I guess relevant social media sites. You can find me here on YouTube. You can look at all the other videos of the Survivor. I know the Spy Shack podcast from last season and some of the videos that we did for Cambodia. I have a couple of videos that I'm planning to do. Not going to be something that's going to be coming out on a consistent basis, but every once in a while when I have time, I'll be releasing new videos. Basically, it's going to be horror movie reviews with a little bit of a backstory on the story that inspired those movies. So keep an eye out for those. And you can also find us on iTunes and on your Android podcasting device. And I'll leave the link in the description. I'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll have a better episode to talk about next week.
Please.
I'm begging.